So for decline skull crushers, what we want is a bench on a slight decline. You'll see when we get into it, it's gonna help us challenge the length and position just a little bit more, probably a little bit better for hypertrophy, but I wanna be very clear, if you don't have a decline bench available or you can't set up a decline bench like I'm about to, just do them on a flat bench. It's really not the end of the world. I'm dead serious. What we're talking about here is like a 10-degree decline anyway. It's not make or break, but if you have it available, logistically, you know, it's possible, it's feasible for you. I do think that there's a slight benefit, so we're gonna talk about it. Now, this bench doesn't have a decline option, and I'm not in the gym and I don't have a preset decline, so I'm using a bumper plate here. You can use anything. It could be a stepper, it could be a book, I don't know, whatever. Something that's a couple inches high, and you're just gonna elevate the butt of the bench, and now, voila, we have a decline bench. Now, when it comes to actually executing the skull crusher, I'm gonna face you guys for a second. When it comes to executing the skull crusher, typically what we hear is you gotta shove your elbows in super tight, keep them in line like this, and that really isn't the biggest deal. Now, I don't want you to flare your elbows either, but if tucking your elbows and kind of twisting into this motion gives you some elbow pain, but letting them flare out a tiny bit relieves that pain, I want you to do that. And so if you try and tuck your elbows in super tight and all of a sudden your elbows hurt, but you flare them a little bit and you feel fine, please, dear God, do that. So here's what that will look like when we get into it. I'm gonna lay back. If you wanna put your feet up on the bench, it doesn't matter, just get comfortable. And from here, we're gonna bend and we're gonna go as low as we can. Guys, down here is where muscles are built right now, okay? So I need you to get as low as you can, as much bend in that elbow, and then you're going to extend the elbow up. Now, a little bit of elbow movement is okay, right? If your elbow on the way down drifts back a little bit, that's not the end of the world, right? It's really not the end of the world if your elbow moves a tiny bit. But if your elbow moves a ton and your movements look like this isn't what we want. I don't want this. But if, as you're bending, the elbow moves a little bit and that really makes it comfortable on your joints, God, I'm more than happy with that. Now, a little tip that I like to use to get a little bit deeper actually is as I bring the dumbbells down, I actually rotate them in my hand so I avoid my face, and it actually lets me get a little bit deeper sometimes and press back up. Now, totally doesn't matter, no big deal. If you're getting enough range of motion, that's awesome. The other thing is if you're hitting the bench a little bit early, you can make your arm path a little bit wider so that you can get a little bit deeper so you don't hit the bench, and we can get a little bit more lengthening in the tricep. But at the end of the day, guys, it's really not a complicated movement. Put your bench on a slight decline here, get the dumbbells up, bend at the elbow, extend at the elbow, and find a comfortable arm path where your elbows aren't killing you. If that means letting the arms go a little bit wider, that's totally fine with me.